For millions of us, this is how the day begins. A simple, refreshing glass of lemon water. It feels healthy, right? We're told it detoxifies the body, aids digestion, and kickstarts our metabolism. And in many ways, that's true. Lemons are a wonderful gift from nature. But what if I told you that this simple habit, or the way you use lemons in your other meals, could be quietly creating a cascade of health issues, especially if you're over the age of 60? It sounds dramatic, but here is a truth that is rarely discussed. Every year, thousands of older adults end up in their doctor's office with mysterious digestive issues, painful kidney stones, or dangerously unstable blood sugar levels, never realizing that the trigger might be hiding in plain sight, a chemical reaction between the lemon they love and another common food on their plate. I'm not here to scare you away from lemons. I'm here to empower you with knowledge. Because when you understand how your body changes after 60, you realize that certain food combinations that were harmless in your youth can become problematic. When mixed with the wrong foods, the powerful citric acid in lemons can backfire, leading to bloating, nutrient malabsorption, and in some cases, a trip to the emergency room. In today's detailed guide, we're going to do a deep dive into the science of food pairing. I will reveal the top 3 foods you should never combine with lemon, and I'll explain the exact biological reasons why. Then, and this is the exciting part, I'll share 3 powerful, safe lemon combinations that can actually amplify its health benefits, supporting your digestion, boosting your immune system, and even soothing joint pain. This isn't just a list of rules. This is a masterclass in making small, smart choices that lead to big results. So, if you enjoy that squeeze of lemon in your tea, water, or on your food, this video will be one of the most important you watch all year. Let's begin. Let's start in the dairy aisle. Milk, yogurt, cheese, even that creamy splash of half and half in your morning coffee. For most of our lives, dairy has been synonymous with health. It's comforting, it's a primary source of calcium, and it's the cornerstone of strong bones. But here's the first critical rule for anyone over 60. Acid and dairy do not mix well inside your digestive system. When you combine the potent citric acid from a lemon with dairy products, you are unintentionally creating a recipe for digestive distress. Here's the science. Lemon juice is, of course, highly acidic. When this acid comes into contact with the casein protein in milk or yogurt, it triggers an immediate chemical reaction known as denaturation. The acid breaks down the protein structure, causing it to clump together and curdle. You can see this for yourself in a simple kitchen experiment. Pour a little lemon juice into a glass of milk. It will almost instantly separate into lumps and a watery liquid. Now, imagine that process happening not in a glass, but in your stomach. For a younger person with a robust digestive system, this might cause a little indigestion. However, after the age of 60, our bodies operate with a different set of tools. We naturally produce less hydrochloric acid in our stomachs and fewer digestive enzymes. This means our ability to break down complex, difficult-to-digest foods is significantly reduced. So, when a 65-year-old eats a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with a generous squeeze of lemon, or drinks a creamy lemon smoothie thinking it's a healthy treat, their gut is put under immense strain. The curdled dairy becomes a dense, heavy mass that is incredibly difficult for their system to process. Instead of smoothly digesting and absorbing the calcium and protein, the food sits in the stomach, fermenting. This can lead to a host of uncomfortable symptoms: painful bloating, a feeling of excessive fullness, gas, acid reflux, and in some cases, diarrhea or constipation. The person might blame it on just getting older or a sensitive stomach, never suspecting the seemingly healthy lemon and yogurt combination is the true culprit. The scientific community has explored this extensively. A study published in the Journal of Dairy Science detailed how altering the pH with acid, like that from a lemon, dramatically changes the texture and digestibility of milk proteins. Another report from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition emphasized that older adults are particularly susceptible to nutrient malabsorption when their digestive system is challenged by poorly combined foods. It's not just about discomfort. It's about your body's ability to get the very nutrients it needs from the food you eat. A patient of mine a wonderful 74-year-old woman named Joyce, was a perfect example. She had read online about a detox habit of drinking warm milk with lemon before bed. She thought she was cleansing her system. Instead, she spent months waking up feeling nauseous and bloated. We ran tests, and everything seemed normal. Finally, I asked her to walk me through her exact daily diet. The moment she mentioned the milk and lemon, a red flag went up. I had her switch to a calming chamomile tea at night. Within 3 days, her symptoms vanished completely. It wasn't a miracle. It was simply the result of understanding food chemistry. So, what is the practical takeaway? First, avoid adding lemon juice directly into milk, yogurt, or creamy cheese dishes. Be mindful of things like lemon yogurt parfaits, creamy lemon pasta sauces, or adding lemon to a milky protein shake. If you enjoy your morning lemon water, which is a great habit, make sure to wait at least 60 minutes after consuming dairy, like the milk in your cereal or that morning yogurt. This gives your stomach time to process the dairy before introducing a strong acid. Now, let's move from the dairy aisle to the pantry and talk about something sweet, but not in a good way: refined sugar. This includes the white sugar you stir into your tea, the high-fructose corn syrup in sodas and processed foods, and the sugar in pastries, cakes, and even many breakfast cereals. On its own, refined sugar is already a challenge for the aging body. But when you combine it with the high acidity of a lemon, you can create a metabolic roller coaster that is particularly risky for seniors. Here's the deal. Lemons contain citric acid, which research has shown can slow down gastric emptying. This means that food, and the sugar within it, leaves your stomach and enters your bloodstream at a slower rate. At the same time, the acid can also interfere with the enzymes that break down carbohydrates. When you consume something sugary, your blood glucose level rises. Your pancreas then releases insulin, the hormone responsible for escorting that sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells for energy. However, studies published in journals like the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism have shown that a highly acidic meal can temporarily reduce insulin sensitivity. So, you have a double whammy. The sugar is being processed more slowly, yet your body's ability to handle that sugar is also impaired. The result? Instead of a gentle, managed rise in blood sugar, you can experience a prolonged and exaggerated spike. Your body is flooded with sugar that it can't efficiently use. This often leads to that notorious sugar crash an hour or two later, leaving you feeling sluggish, irritable, dizzy, and strangely hungry again. For the nearly 1 in 4 adults over 65 who have type 2 diabetes, and the millions more with prediabetes, this is incredibly dangerous. Consistently creating these dramatic blood sugar spikes puts immense stress on the pancreas and can worsen insulin resistance over time, making the condition harder to manage. Even if you don't have a diagnosed blood sugar issue, your body naturally becomes more insulin resistant as you age. That's why a glass of sweet lemonade or a lemon-glazed donut that you could handle at 30 might now leave you feeling completely wiped out at 65. A close friend of mine, Frank, a 68-year-old who was pre-diabetic, learned this lesson the hard way. He had a beloved afternoon ritual: a tall glass of homemade lemonade, made with fresh lemons and 2 heaping tablespoons of white sugar. He couldn't understand why he was overcome with fatigue every day around 3 p.m. He blamed it on a poor night's sleep or just aging. When he started monitoring his glucose levels, the pattern became clear. His lemonade was causing a massive spike, followed by a profound crash. On his doctor's advice, he switched to unsweetened lemon iced tea. The afternoon slumps disappeared, and his blood sugar readings stabilized. The practical advice here is clear. If you love the flavor of lemon, enjoy it in ways that don't involve refined sugar. Squeeze it into water or unsweetened tea. Use it to make a vinaigrette for your salad. If you do want something sweet, pair a lemon with the natural sweetness of whole fruits like berries, which also contain fiber to buffer the sugar absorption. But avoid, as much as possible, combining lemon with sugary drinks, desserts, and refined carbohydrates, especially in the same meal. Our third and final problematic pairing is perhaps the most surprising, because it involves foods that are universally considered to be superfoods. I'm talking about food that are rich in a natural compound called oxalates. The most common high-oxalate foods are spinach, beets, rhubarb, nuts, especially almonds, and beans. These foods are packed with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. They're incredibly good for you. However, for an older adult, regularly combining these high-oxalate foods with the high citric acid content of lemons can quietly increase the risk of developing one of the most painful medical conditions imaginable: kidney stones. Here's the chemistry behind it. Oxalates are compounds that can bind with minerals in your body. When oxalates bind with calcium in the urinary tract, they can form tiny, hard crystals. If these crystals are not flushed out efficiently, they can aggregate and grow over time, forming painful kidney stones. The citric acid in lemons actually has a dual role here. On one hand, the citrate from lemons can help prevent kidney stones by binding with calcium in the urine, which is a good thing. However, the high-acid environment created when you consume lemons along with a large load of oxalates can create the perfect conditions for calcium oxalate crystals to form in the first place, especially if you're dehydrated or have a predisposition to stones. This risk is significantly higher for seniors. Why? Because kidney function naturally declines with age. Our kidneys become less efficient at filtering waste products and flushing out excess compounds like oxalates. According to the National Kidney Foundation, adults over 60 are at a higher risk of developing kidney stones, and diet is a major contributing factor. A study in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found a direct correlation between diets high in both acids and oxalates and an increased incidence of calcium oxalate stones in people over 55. Think about a common healthy meal: a large spinach salad loaded with almonds, with a zesty lemon vinaigrette, or a detox smoothie made with beets, spinach, and a whole lemon. While these meals are full of nutrients, for a vulnerable senior, consuming them regularly could be setting the stage for stone formation. A woman in my community, Linda, a vibrant 68-year-old, was a firm believer in her daily beet and lemon juice. She thought she was cleansing her liver. But after 2 excruciating trips to the ER with stabbing back pain, she was diagnosed with multiple kidney stones. Her doctor, a nephrologist, identified her high-oxalate, high-acid morning drink as the likely culprit. He advised her to keep enjoying lemons, but to separate their consumption from high-oxalate foods like beets. Since making that simple change, she's been stone-free. The practical takeaway is one of balance, not elimination. You do not need to stop eating nutritious foods like spinach and nuts. Simply be mindful of the pairings. Avoid dousing your spinach salad in lemon dressing every single day. If you have a beet smoothie, use a different acid like apple cider vinegar, or just omit it. The key is to avoid a high load of both acid and oxalates in the same meal regularly. And most importantly, stay well hydrated by drinking plenty of plain water throughout the day to help your kidneys do their job effectively. Now that we've covered what to avoid, let's shift to the positive. When paired correctly, lemon can be a true supercharger for your health. Let's explore 3 safe, senior-friendly combinations that can support your vitality without risk. One of the most powerful and time-honored partners for lemon is raw honey. And I must emphasize raw honey, not the overly processed, filtered honey you find in most plastic bear-shaped bottles. Raw honey is packed with natural enzymes, antioxidants, and antibacterial properties. When you combine a teaspoon of raw honey with the juice of half a lemon in a mug of warm, not boiling, water, you create a soothing, healing tonic. This combination is fantastic for digestion, immunity, and soothing a sore throat. The mild acidity of the lemon gently stimulates the production of stomach acid, preparing your gut for a meal, while the enzymes in the raw honey help to break down food. Furthermore, the honey coats the stomach lining, which can be very soothing for any irritation. From an immune perspective, the vitamin C from the lemon and the powerful polyphenol in raw honey create a natural, immune-boosting cocktail that is far superior to any store-bought supplement. Our second golden pairing is with the anti-inflammatory superstar, turmeric. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, which is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories ever studied. This is incredibly important for seniors, as chronic, low-level inflammation is a key driver of arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. However, curcumin is notoriously difficult for the body to absorb. This is where lemon and black pepper come in. The acidity of a lemon helps to activate the curcumin, while a compound in black pepper called piperine has been scientifically proven to increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. When you combine these three ingredients in warm water, you are creating a potent, bioavailable anti-inflammatory drink that can help soothe stiff joints and protect your body from the inside out. I've seen this combination work wonders for my aunt, who struggled with arthritis in her hands. Her morning ritual of warm water, a squeeze of lemon, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and a tiny pinch of black pepper has made a noticeable difference in her morning stiffness and pain. Finally, let's talk about pairing lemon with another powerful root, ginger. Ginger is one of nature's best remedies for digestion, circulation, and nausea. It contains compounds called gingerols, which have potent anti-inflammatory and warming effects. For seniors who often feel cold or struggle with poor circulation, a warm tonic of lemon and fresh ginger can be incredibly beneficial. It gently helps to dilate blood vessels, improving blood flow and warming your hands and feet. From a digestive standpoint, ginger stimulates the production of saliva and enzymes, while lemon encourages bile production. Together, they create a perfect symphony of digestive support, helping to reduce bloating, gas, and that heavy feeling after meals. This combination is simple to make. Just steep a few slices of fresh ginger and a squeeze of lemon in a mug of hot water. It's a comforting, warming, and healing drink that feels like a hug from the inside out. So, we've covered the complex science, the warnings, and the powerful safe pairings. But what does this look like on a real day? How do you take all this information and apply it without feeling restricted or confused? Let's walk through a simple, delicious, and perfectly safe sample day together. Think of this as a blueprint for getting all the benefits of lemon, with absolutely none of the risks. Our day begins, not with lemon water, but with a nourishing breakfast. Imagine a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with fresh berries and a sprinkle of walnuts. This gives your digestive system a gentle, fiber-rich start. Then, about an hour after you've finished eating, it's time for your morning ritual. This is when you have your mug of warm water with the juice of half a lemon. By waiting, you've allowed your stomach to begin its work without interference. For an extra boost, you could add that teaspoon of raw honey or a few slices of fresh ginger, turning it into the powerful, healing tonic we discussed. Now, let's move to lunchtime. For lunch, you're having a big, healthy salad to get your greens in. It's filled with fresh spinach and topped with a sprinkle of crunchy almonds. Now, based on what we've learned, what kind of dressing do we choose? Not a lemon vinaigrette. This is where we make the smart swap. Instead, you dress this beautiful salad with a simple mix of extra virgin olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Notice what we did here. We're still enjoying our nutrient-dense, high-oxalate foods, but we've wisely separated them from the high-acid lemon to protect our kidneys. Dinner is where lemon can truly shine as a flavor enhancer. Picture a perfectly baked piece of salmon, rich in omega-3s. Once it's out of the oven, you give it a generous squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The brightness cuts through the richness of the fish beautifully. You serve this with a side of steamed asparagus and a small portion of quinoa. This meal is a perfect example of a safe pairing. No dairy, no refined sugars, and no oxalate overload. It's delicious, nutritious, and works in harmony with your body. Finally, as you wind down for the evening, you might be tempted by a warm, comforting drink. Instead of the risky milk and lemon combination, you opt for a soothing cup of chamomile or ginger tea. It's calming, promotes restful sleep, and ensures your digestive system is at peace throughout the night. So, as you can see, this day was filled with flavor and health, including our beloved lemon. The key wasn't restriction. It was smart timing and intelligent pairing. It's about making your food work for you, not against you. So, as we've seen today, the humble lemon is not just a simple fruit. It is a powerful chemical agent that interacts with everything you eat. It's a tool that, when used wisely, can be a tremendous ally for your health. But when paired carelessly, it can create unintended problems. At this stage of life, Wellness is not about restriction. It is about wisdom. It's about listening to your body and making small, loving choices that add up to big changes. It's about understanding that you are not the same person you were at 30, and your body requires a different kind of care. By avoiding the problematic pairings with dairy, refined sugar, and high-oxalate foods, and embracing the powerful, safe combinations with raw honey, turmeric, and ginger, you are taking control of your health in a profound way. If today's video gave you a new perspective, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear which of these pairings surprised you the most. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button to join our community, where we believe in gentle, powerful wellness for every stage of life. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, because you deserve to feel good every single day.